Hi everyone, my name's Ciara, and before I get started, I just want to apologize about my voice. I'm probably gonna crack and just get weird throughout this video. I'm slowly losing it, and I've just, been trying not to lose it, so I've been drinking a bunch of tea and stuff, but I apologize. Today, I'm going to be doing the paranormal tag since it is spooky season. Today is October 27th, so it's almost Halloween or Samhain or whatever you want to call it. But I believe the paranormal tag was originally created by Graveyard Girl back when she was doing like her paranormal videos when she was still in like graveyards and stuff like that, which was a long time ago if you think about it. I think I was like 11 or 12 when I was watching those videos, and I'm like 24 now, so it's only been a grip. But let's get started, shall we? While I was looking for it, I couldn't find the original video that she posted. I'll try and look for it, and if I find it, I'll definitely post it below. But I found a website called We Heart It, and I'm not sure if anybody knows about that, but like it's been around for God knows how long. But it had like the questions on it. I'm not sure if these are the original questions, but it's based off of her original tag. So we're gonna go from there and bring it back to 2010 when we were all doing tag videos. The first question is, how old were you when you had your first paranormal experience? I don't remember exactly, but the house I used to live in from when I was born to about first grade was actually like really haunted. It had a Civil War soldier in it. It had a Victorian lady. My grandfather liked to haunt it, and he wasn't very nice. He would slam doors and stuff like that. And I believe there were like a couple other ghosts, but they were the three ones that like I interacted with or like heard about the most. But the first one that I can remember, I only found out like 2 years ago because I was talking to my parents about it. The Victorian lady had this beautiful like dress on, this nice white collar. Her hair was up in a really high bun. Like she was very like formal looking for that era. I used to play with her on the landing on the stairs, which seems really weird to people. I always thought it was a dream, and I was talking to my parents about it one day, and I was like, yeah, I remember this like weird dream I had about like playing with this Victorian lady in our old house. And I say play like loosely, like she would just kind of like sit and talk with me, and I would like throw toys at her, and like she would like kick them back. So it was like, I feel like it was more like she was playing with a dog kind of thing and not like a child, but like it's whatever. But I was like, I told my parents, I was like, yeah, I remember this dream I had with this Victorian lady that I would play with on the landing of the stairs. And they were like, what did she look like? So I explained what she looked like, and my dad was like, no, like she was in our old house, like she haunted our old house. Really weird, like I didn't know that, like that kind of freaked me out. And I was like, oh yeah, like she was nice, like she wasn't mean to me. She had this like really hard stare that she would give to people that like weren't me. It was kind of creepy, but she was always nice to me, so I didn't really have any problems with her. So that was my first paranormal experience that I can remember. The second question is, have you always believed in ghosts? Yes, simply because both my parents believe and have had experiences with the paranormal growing up, so they always told me stories, and like I said, my house was haunted, so I dealt with them on a daily basis. It was kind of like normal for me, but also I'm like sensitive to spirits as well, which it comes and goes mostly because I sometimes like I'm really like, oh, like I want to understand what the spirit's trying to tell me, or like why it's stomping around my house, but sometimes it scares me so bad that I don't want anything to do with it, which I think I'll get into later with one of these questions. So yes, I have always believed in ghosts, simply because of the first story. The third question is, where is your favorite place to investigate? I don't really do investigations. Like I visit notoriously haunted places. Like I've gone to Salem, stayed in an Airbnb, wanted to
leave
every time I was there because I was scared out of my mind. We were up there in I think like October 7th or around like the first weekend of October this year. we went to Salem. It wasn't as in-depth as it was 2 years ago when we went, but this time it was more like relaxed because, you know, we had to wear masks all the time and a lot of things weren't open. So we did a lot of like walking around, and we took a spirit box with us. My friend bought a spirit box, and we went to Winter Island, which is where the old lighthouse is. Here comes the dog. Hi. You can go potty? I'll be right back. Okay, where was I? I forget what I was talking about. Oh, we took the spirit box to Winter Island. We took it to Proctor's Ledge, and we took it to, I don't know if there are any Hocus Pocus fans, but Allison's Mansion, the Ropes Garden, has like a free garden. The Ropes Mansion, not the Ropes Garden. The Ropes Mansion has a free garden in the back of it that you can just kind of sit in. So we took the spirit box to those 3 places, and we actually got some like decent answers and responses. Like the one at Winter Island, we got like a man and a woman talking about how they died there, which was really, really crazy. But they wanted to talk to us. The male said he was a pirate, and the woman said that she was basically here before the settlers were, so she was a native to the country, and it was really, really interesting to hear what they had to say. They were both very distressed, though. We think that something happened to them that wasn't like natural causes. But anyway, so we investigated there, and then we also went to Sleepy Hollow, and we had a lot of experiences there too. So we're just trying to like go to haunted locations and see what happens, because we all are very sensitive towards it. I don't really have a favorite place to investigate because we are mediocre investigators, but our sensitivity towards spirits definitely gives us a lot of information towards things. So, I mean, that doesn't really answer the question, but, you know, whatever. Number 4 is, what's your favorite investigating tool to use? So, like I said, I don't really investigate, but the spirit box was really, really interesting to use, and we'll definitely bring that on future trips and use it because it helped us immensely figure out what they wanted to talk to us about. So, yeah. Number 5 is, here we go. What is your scariest paranormal experience? So, the first time I went to Salem was in 2018. We stayed in an Airbnb on North Pine Street, which has now since burnt down, which is, I'll get into that in a minute. I'm going to give you a synopsis, but if you want the full story of this experience, I'll film a video for it because, you know, it's spooky season, and I've been trying to tell this story on here for, it's been 2 years, and I just can't, every time I try and film it, it sounds that I'm making everything up, but I swear to God, I'm not exaggerating the story at all, and it's nobody believes me when I tell them. But basically, we went to Salem 2 years ago. We stayed in an Airbnb, which where we were was like prime location. It was like a 10-15 minute walk to downtown Salem. We passed the Ropes Mansion on the way there and back. We passed the Witch House there and back, and overall, it was a really fun trip. But the place we stayed at was haunted, and she did not want people there, and she was manipulating TVs to say weird languages and turn static in the middle of the night. The room that I stayed in was a portal. There were mirrors everywhere facing each other, and at night you could just see the orbs flying back and forth across the room. There was like weird, like almost occult stuff in the Airbnb that's like, it seemed occultist, but you couldn't like pinpoint like why. You know what I mean? Like, it was a weird house. There was, like, half-burnt sage in the drawer. So, like, obviously they knew that it was haunted and just didn't put a disclaimer about it. The spirit that was there was a woman. She was very, very mean. She was trying to pull blankets off of my feet in the middle of the night, which was not fun. She was, like, invading our dreams and, like, giving us, like, weird nightmares. She was making our throats hurt. She was, like, walking up and down, peeking behind doors. She was staring at me in the mirror at one point while I was doing my makeup and scared the shit out of me. Was making us feel sick. A very, very weird and scary experience. Like, at one point I just went to sleep in the car because I was, like, not about it. And then, on the way home, it kept rerouting us back to Salem, which was not fun. We were, from Salem to where I live in Pennsylvania, is at most a 6.5 hour drive. We weren't in traffic. We were just driving for over 11 hours. We left Salem at 1 o'clock. We got home at like midnight, like 1 in the morning. Like, it was, And the entire time, I was throwing up every like 20 minutes. Like, she made me physically sick to the point where, like, I've never been that sick in my entire life. It was horrible. She was manipulating GPS, you know, she like didn't want us to leave. We got home and tried to like figure out like places about if there was any thing that happened or anything, and it took us 2 years to find information on the house. I found all these old deeds the one night, stuff about it, but it wasn't information, and then all of a sudden I kept getting real estate things, like they were trying to sell the house, and then I tried one more time because I was going to give up, and I typed it in one more time, and an article about how it burnt down, but they couldn't figure out how it burnt down, showed up, and it freaked the fuck out of us. So if you want a full story about that, I will gladly tell you, because it was a whole thing. That was the first time I had encountered a spirit that was malicious with no intent. So that was, you know, my scariest experience. Didn't stop us from going back though. We went back and stayed in a hotel like 5 minutes outside of Salem. So yeah, everything else is great. It was just the Airbnb wanted to, the spirit in there just did not like us. So number 6 is, what is your favorite paranormal experience? That's a good question. I think as of the Salem trip that we just took, I think it might have been using the spirit box on Winter Island, because the man and woman were just very... Hello. The man and the woman that we were talking about were actually like giving us decent information. The man was basically telling us about, like, he wanted to tell us about things, and we were asking him questions like, did you, like, why are you at the beach, like, why are you still here? Basically what we gathered from that was that he was a pirate or something, and he was here to find like a treasure. He used, I forget what number it was, but it was a pistol of some sort. It was a .48, .3 something that he had lost and was trying to recover, but he said that he got hung before he could find it. So he's still looking for it, and he's trapped there. He said that he was 23. Well, I couldn't tell if he said he was 23 or the year was 23. It was kind of, you know how spirit boxes go, like they don't really, his words just come out and they don't really explain. So it was a really like surreal experience that he like wanted to talk to us so bad. And the woman telling us that she was basically a native and that Winter Island was a countryside before that, and you know, she lived like a normal life, but something like happened to her. She didn't tell us what happened to her, but her voice was very distressed and she screamed at one point. But it was a very like surreal experience to be able to understand what they're trying to tell you, and I think about it a lot. So I think that's probably one of my favorite paranormal experiences, just being able to like understand more about what happened and what they're trying to tell you, and them actually wanting to communicate with you in a malicious thing. Number 7 is, do you know anyone personally who has had paranormal experiences? Just told you about like 5 of them. I know Jay has, my fiance. Our friend Marta and her basically entire family have had paranormal experiences. They live in a haunted house, so I mean, and I think there's a couple of spirits in this house too. Even her dad came over and said that there was something in this house, which like I knew when I first started moving in here. Basically all of them. Pretty much a lot of people who, because I'm very open about the fact that like see spirits every day and that they like touch me and they try to talk to me. I mean, like, I'm gonna be open about it. I'm not gonna hide it, because you know it happens. But people like to share their experiences with me once I explain to them why I'm acting weird. There's definitely a decent amount of people I know who have had paranormal experiences. Number 8 is, do you have any trouble convincing your friends or family about your paranormal experiences? Absolutely not, because like I said, they all also have paranormal experiences. Number 9 is your favorite paranormal TV show or movie. I grew up watching a bunch of paranormal TV shows just because my dad really enjoys them. So I grew up watching like the original Ghost Hunters, Ghost Hunters International, and I think those are kind of more of my favorite. Just like the classic ones before it got like really popular and people like started kind of faking it a little bit. So that's definitely my favorite TV show. My favorite paranormal movie, which is based off of a real story, is A Haunting in Connecticut. That's my favorite horror movie of all time. So number 10 is, what would be your dream place to investigate? I would love to investigate the Queen Mary, the ship in California. I think that'd be really, really cool I would also like to go overseas to like, Ireland and Scotland because I know there's really, really old spirits over there and like a lot of old hauntings and stuff like that. So I think that'd be really cool to investigate as well. So either of those. 11 is, do you prefer to investigate alone or in a group? I definitely prefer to investigate in a group because even though I deal with spirits every day, I'm still a big crybaby when it comes to doing it alone because sometimes it scares me. So I definitely prefer doing it in a group. 12, is your home haunted? I don't know if it's my home or if it's something that's attached to me because I can't tell. But there's a couple things in this house that kind of like keep me on edge. Like I don't like going in the basement by myself because I know there's something that likes to follow me down there. There's something in the attic. I don't know if it's a safe thing, but like I don't like either of those places. There's like a man who likes to stare at me while I'm in the bathroom, so I keep the bathroom door closed. I don't I don't like when he stares at me, which is weird. So I always keep the bathroom door closed, even if I'm just like washing my face or whatever. But I think there's also a couple like spirits attached to me, so probably, yeah, I think my home is haunted. Okay, number 13 is the last one. So number 13 is, have you ever had any paranormal experiences with animals? I've had one that I know of. I probably more than one. But the one I remember is I was at work at my old job. I used to work for Torrid, and I was up front. I think I was like grabbing something off the counter or something, and one of my coworkers was checking this person out, but they had a couple friends with them, just kind of standing next to them. And one of them was this like really tall, like 6 foot guy. He was like kind of nerdy, like whatever. They were talking about something, and I was standing like here, and he was here because the counter was like whatever. I was standing here, and he was like right here, and all of a sudden I felt something like brush along my leg, and I was like, did I drop something? Like, did a piece of clothing like fall on the floor? Like, I don't, what's touching my leg? So I looked down, and there's nothing there. And then I looked over at him just because I was like, oh, like maybe like he has a jacket in his hand that's like moving, or like a shopping bag, just kind of like brushing my leg, and there was nothing there. So I continued what I was doing, just trying to gather up all the stuff that I was gonna bring off the counter and onto the floor, and I get like it's hard to explain. It's kind of like TV static when something like spiritual is around me. I get like TV static on whatever part of the body that like they're near or like they've touched, and I felt it on my leg again. But this time I felt the static because I was paying attention more this time, and I was like, okay, so like it's paranormal. Like something's touching my leg that like isn't visible, and I see pictures or like things pop into my head when spirits are near me, and like I kind of get a sense of like what it is. So an orange like tabby cat popped in my head. So I looked down and I was like maybe that's it. So like I stood there for a couple more minutes just kind of playing around trying to figure out, yeah, it's an orange tabby cat rubbing against my leg, and it was the dude's. And I wasn't about to like turn around and be like, did you have a cat that just died? Like it's following you around. But that was the only experience I had with a paranormal animal. So it was a really weird experience to have, and especially during work because I was like not ready for it. But yeah, that was my paranormal experience with animals. It's the only one that I know of that I've had. But that is it for the questions, the paranormal tag. It was definitely an interesting tag. I enjoyed doing it, so if you would like to see me do any more tag videos and bring 2010 back, let me know in the comments below. But if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I'll make more paranormal videos and like witchy stuff, but I also do like a bunch of random other things like cooking and stuff. So yeah, I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!